Also, I wanted to add it, guys. The retrograde that will take place March 29. Let me tie that in with, the third house transiting, the frequency of Virgo. Virgo, the sixth house transiting Sagittarius. Sagittarius, the ninth house transiting Pisces. Pisces, the 12th house transiting Gemini. So we're back at square one. And how you think, that's Virgo, that's one aspect of Mercury, strongly impacts how one communicates. So, therefore, we can blame the way in which we speak on the way in which we think. And we see that there. Because there's always a connection between the thought process and the communicative style. And so people are going to be thinking wisely because Sagittarius is the sage. Okay? People are going to be thinking wisely. They're going to be thinking on wisdom. They're going to be thinking on uh, higher learning. And this higher learning may be spiritual studies. Okay, with, the ninth house being in Pisces. And so with people really giving thought, into thought, we find that people are going to be, talking more sensibly and, thoughtfully, during the month of May. Tying that with the retrograde, okay, two messages there. Reflecting on what really triggered, the breaking down of communication, if there was one. So a lot of, introspection. That's what the retrograde frequency does. It causes one to introspect. And it's looking back on what was said. It's looking back. That's the retrograde. So subconsciously, people are going to be traveling, a lot of astral travel into their subconscious. What the hell happened over the years or the months for most of the years? So a lot of thinking on the communications that, the words that were said over the years, the words that were left unsaid over the years, or siblings, peers, and, therefore, some people are going to be doing this, transit, speaking their minds, what's on their subconscious. So prior to that, there's going to be more of a weighing and thoughtfulness in what is said. But I feel like coming down to the end of May, people are going to be talking, their minds, what's within the subconscious. For some of you, you're not going to be talking at all. You may talk to yourself a lot. For some of you, you won't feel like talking. So you're going to come out of this, very communicative frequency, though thoughtful, you know, to one that is, for some of you, depending on your natal charts, one that is more stoic. Okay, so we could call, for some of you, you're going to be meditating more. But for some of you, you're going to be voicing your opinions, what's within your subconscious, your psyche, what's been bothering you over the years. What really happened. For some of you, you could be, investigating, things that happened over the years. For some of you, this could be an actual investigation, the investigation into the crime, okay? But for, the most part, for most of us, it is reflecting on, what has led to the breaking down of communication, or the transformation, the transition of our communication, okay? So I only realized after I finished that video that I didn't touch on the retrograde frequencies, okay? The retrograde frequency. People, they process their emotions so differently. We're all different. We're not called to be a regime. A regime in a spiritual sense, in which we follow the spiritual order, hierarchy, okay? And we fall into place with, our purpose, our purposes. That's our north nodes, our purposes in this current lifetime. That's the only regime we should follow. But it's no follow fashion or follow suit in terms of occupations, because that person looks cool doing that occupation or performing that task. You might look lame or stupid or silly performing the same if you're not called to do the same. People process their emotions, people process conflict differently. And tying that back in with the thought process, you know, because we all got our Mercury placements in different frequencies. Sure, some of us may think alike because we may have similar Mercury placements, but that's not for the whole. And it's not to discriminate against the rest because they don't think like you. It's to try and find a balancing field, a balancing ground, a balancing point. Okay, so that's what I got for you guys. Okay, I think I covered that. I was thinking on, doing some more Truth is Stranger Than Fiction videos. I felt compelled, I felt this energy since yesterday. I'm still feeling the energy, so I feel like I'm being guided by Spirit to do that. Them readings, Truth is Stranger Than Fiction, they're so special because they highlight people's special gifts and abilities that, we all have embedded within us. That, lay dormant because, of this system, the matrix, that has clouded our vision. Okay, thinking that the only power we have is in the tangible, wealth, money, prestige, though those things are not really tangible, but the things that create them, frequencies in our lives are. And now it is the time for people to awaken. It's the time of knowledge, age of Aquarius. I know, therefore I am. And so it is time for us all to know who we are, so we can be me. Okay, and to be a be me being is being your truest self in your truest form. It's being finding peace, with your lower self, your shadow self, and your higher self, and to be vibrating, you know, uh, in between, when the occasion arises, we tap into the shadow self because it too is necessary. And whenever it is time to tap into the higher self, we tap into the higher self. But it is good to know ourselves, to realize ourselves, so that we can know the distinction when we are operating in our shadow selves, and when we're operating in our higher selves. And so self-realization, self-discovery is very important during that age. And if you don't get on board to realizing who you truly are, you are going to get left behind.